Recreation and exercise for people with cerebral palsy. We're going to watch a small video from a personal trainer's side.
Hello, I'm Chris. I'm a friend of Robert's, and he asked me to speak to you about recreation and exercise for people with cerebral palsy. It's a great joy, and I'd love to have more of it, receive more from it than he has, but that's not the point. We're going to talk to you today about recreation and exercise for people with cerebral palsy. Robert came up to me a couple years ago. He said, look, I'm thinking about doing a missionary trip to the Philippines, and I need some help getting ready. And he knew it was a big, large task and involved many muscles that he normally doesn't use in his life right now. And why he came to me is because we've known each other for so many years. And he knows I've coached football for a long time, and he knew the one thing, the main issue between us, not that I've coached football and that our trusting relationship with each other for so many years, is that he realized, and I realized, that putting all cards aside, when it's serious, it's serious. It's time to talk. So when we talked about this, we discovered together that this was a heavy-duty, straight-up, serious thing that he wanted to consider doing. He was taking something of common interest and going to make it a change in his lifestyle. So one of the things we came across is, what's your goal? What's your purpose? And what we did, we learned is that it's going to take a habit to a hobby to a lifestyle. Now what we learned from all this, before we got any further, is, okay, Robert, here's what we need to understand. And we sat down for about a 45-minute dialogue and just came to understanding. He says, here are my limitations, here's what I cannot do. And I would say, to the things that are obvious. And then the things that I questioned about was, is he cannot do or that he has never done before. And we'll get more to that later. The overall concept, besides trust, is the idea of flexibility. Me being a person that does not have cerebral palsy, and Robert does, there are some exercises that we can do it the same way. However, what we don't know and what we have learned to develop along the way is how to be flexible and adjust. There's a common exercise out there for back, shoulders, and for chest. It's called the rowboats. And we both hate them, or we both can do them. The other one that he enjoys that I hate are the leg presses. He has great lower core leg strength, and I don't. But what we learn to do is figure out what are his strengths, what are his weaknesses, and what are the absolute no-can-do because I just don't have the equipment to do. And that took time, and that's the whole part of flexibility and trust. When we talk about flexibility and trust, it mainly involves going with the flow until you reach a hurting moment, or you got to stop, hold on a minute, let me get my head together. And when we talk about that trust, there's a moment in transition when you exercise for recreation that you got to realize you got to get through that moment. You don't get to the first resistance moment and stop. You take one more step. We don't care if it's one more sit-up, one more push-up, one more arm curl, one more hand raise, or whatever. Just do one more, and then we'll understand. And that's where flexibility begins, with go with the flow, go with your partner, a person that you trust. One of the main things that you need to understand about this development and recreation through exercise is measuring points along the way. When you begin this program, you and your partner or your coach decide where do you want to be in what amount of time, and you plot out the course. It's almost like home planning, house planning, or business planning. You need to figure out where you are. You need to understand where you want to be. But more importantly, you need to understand is what are you willing to let go of, take hold of, and then when it's all said and done, pass on to others. This involves progress and it involves pain. Because while you're going through this recreation program, when Robert and I first started, we agreed we're going to start at 6 in the morning. And, that means he's got to get to bed at 4:30. I get to bed at 4:30 and we meet. Well, no one sees those moments. And you got to have the mindset. You're not out here to do this for anybody else other than you. Just you. Don't need the world to know that you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to work out or anything like that. It's you. But where the overall invisible trophies come from is when someone comes up to you and says, can you help me out with something? And then you begin that one-step interview that Robert and I began 2.5 years ago now in his living room. So you understand where you are, where you want to be, and what you're willing to let go of, take hold of, and then pass on to others. Now, here's something else you need to know about measuring points of flexibility. Your milestones, your trophies are going to be invisible because it's going to be the emotional, the mental, and the psychological. Because when you take a habit and make it a lifestyle, you're going to have moments where you will not feel like getting out of bed. Or you're going to have moments where your coach says, I can't make it today. What are you going to do? You're going to lay there? And you're going to have moments when you go from a habit to a lifestyle that you need to understand that you're going to say, I don't feel comfortable unless I go at least do 30 minutes of workout. Whether it's go up and down steps for 30 minutes or on the road or clip the ride or something like that for 30 minutes. You need to understand your body will start to do that. It'll transition from a habit to a lifestyle. When you talk about lifestyle, it's almost like you don't feel normal till you do something. Well, one of the first days when Robert and I started working out, I get over to his place and I looked at this hill. I guarantee it's about 40 yards down. I said, one day he's going to hit that hill. Being a football coach, we love hills. They're great purposes. So anyway, during the fall, we started to fall through the winter. I said, man, I'm going to have you out that hill in the spring. Got to get ready. And he laughed at me and called me everything but crazy. First spring day we got out there, and we rolled out that hill after we're done all our exercises and our steps. It's about an hour and a half. Now what? I said, stand up. I said, now what? Okay, lay down. Now what? Roll down the bottom. Then what? Roll back. Well, we did that for about 3 or 4 months. And then he started to get into it as a kind of a cool thing. Then he tried to beat the system by cheating and grabbing. And he got rocks in his pants. And then he got into an understanding what it takes to take the whole torso and work it all out. And we forget to have fun when we were kids. We forget what it's like to roll down a hill. And the whole part of exercise, it's fun. If it hurts and it's not fun, stop. Find something that's fun and make it exercise. Later part of that year, we started getting pretty strong, and all of a sudden, I said, Robert, we'll try something different. He said, what? I said, stop right here. And he got to his feet. He said, now what? Walk down to the bottom. And they looked at me like, and then what? And then walk back. Well, I'm going to just tell you right now, when he walked, it was a great day for me. But no one else needed to know about those trophy moments. And he didn't until just now. And that's the part of it. Measuring moments, trust, and taking a habit to a lifestyle. Recreation through exercise. Find a partner and get one soon. Bye-bye.
That is, I knew Chris in high school. Well, he knew me. He was older than I was. And Chris is now a pastor at one of our churches called Newing Point. And he's a football coach. And you heard the story. But I thought it was important to show you all that it doesn't take a lot to ask a friend to help. I mean, I went to him and I asked him. First off, I asked him because I knew he would push me. He wouldn't take any crap off of me. See, it's hard to find people that won't take crap off of me. This boy won't. This boy knew I wouldn't break when I would bend, but I wouldn't break. This boy knew what I could do. And you know what? He would tell me stuff that he said, do this and sit on this big blue ball and don't fall off. I'm like, yeah, right. It's not going to happen. But you know what? After about 3 months, it happened. So after a while, I just would say, okay. I didn't say I can't or I won't. I just went for it. And so it doesn't take much to ask a buddy, a friend, somebody that you know to help you out, stretch, get you out of the wheelchair, and develop a exercise routine. Yes, I was blessed. He's been a football coach for a high school team for over 25 years, so he gets it. He understands muscle. But you know what? He doesn't understand CP muscle. And Odette can tell you, she used to walk into our exercise regiment. She probably thought he was going to kill me. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Amy and Shannon to come up and take it from here. Amy, Shannon, thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Okay, we have to set up for just a second, so give us a second and we'll be back.